Are we live?
And we are live.
Oh, that's lovely. I mean, the timing of all of that is great. You're gonna
Yeah,
talk about Mario without me blasting. Oh, I didn't even think to ask Wesley. That's the funny thing. We've been talking all
here we
day.
go.
But hold on. Let me put that we're live everywhere. For
I'll
those,
think about
I'll go ahead and start the podcast with this because it makes a good. What are we doing? I'm living the existential nightmare of the American dream because I wasn't gonna say this live, but I'll give everyone the really fast version. I was giving the others the longer version before we went live. But on our New Year's resolution episode, the last time we had Josh on, fun fact, I was bragging about how one of the things I had done was I had paid off quite a bit of my debt last year, and that my resolution for this year was to pay the rest of it off. Ha ha ha! Lo and behold, I learned that honestly, it's too complicated to explain, and honestly, I don't really understand it myself. But through paying off some of the debt and only paying off the principal and getting some of it forgiven, like the interest, I owe the IRS a lot of money. And yeah, woohoo!
Not
Um, but we'll see. I'm also hoping that like because I never go figure. I was never eligible for any. Let's not get into the why this was, but I was never eligible for any stimulus before, and I think I am now. So I'm hoping that everything kind of cancels each other out at the end of the day. But we'll see. We shall see. We are live though. I'm Manuel. I'm Manuel, the IRS's personal what's a word? What's a non-offensive word I can say now? I have to follow that up. They own me.
You mean
Yes, they own
slave?
him.
Well, I didn't want to say that because I'm just like, but they
You
do
mean
own me.
I don't know. I would say the other thing, but I don't know if algorithms work, so I don't just want to cuss because it's like the easier thing to say. But like,
Oh, yeah, I'm their bitch because I've called myself a bitch in other contexts, so that's fine. Yeah,
okay,
I'm basically their bitch. It's like usually I'm Warren's bitch or someone's like that, or Pleiades or they're mine or whatever. You know, we don't pick hairs here, but yeah, I'm the IRS's
you are
for
their HM bitch.
yeah. Anyways, hey everyone, this is believe it or not, I'm not gonna just whine about this. I was in a good mood until we started, and then for some reason I don't even know what reminded me. I don't know how this came up. Anyway, Josh, introduce yourself while I finish up this thing I was doing.
Oh yes. My name is Josh Cruz. I am Photaku, and that's the most natural intro I've ever had. But otherwise, you can just call me Photaku. I'm Photaku Network. I do the cosplay, I do cosplay photos, I do video games and the streams, and today I am here to conversate about stuff again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have some cool topics today. A lot of shit's gone down news wise,
When
and
does it not go down?
but before we cover that, what have you been up to, Josh? We haven't talked to you in a couple months.
Um, let's see. I went to just a couple cons. I didn't go to any cons in February. I only went to January's ALA and Anime Impulse. It was cool to see people. Since then, I've been working. I'm glad for the new job that I have. And it's growing. It's pretty dope. It deals with geotech, and I'm like the office business guy, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, I know nothing about anything here. I'm just doing all the reception work, and they given me like a bunch of additional training and stuff that has me feel like, oh damn, I hope I'm not in over my head. They're like, yeah, we wear many hats here. Can you do a radiation protection plan? And I'm like, um, yeah, I'm gonna need help. And everyone's like, oh, don't worry, we'll help you. We'll put it together. Remember, you're a radiation safety officer. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'm as qualified, but it's actually been pretty simple. They're just pretty much like, oh no, we have a box on the back that's technically nuclear and radioactive, and we just need to be sure that everybody is at least 15 feet away from that thing. I'm like, is it on? And they're like, no. And I'm like, so then I take the safety course and I learn everything, and it's just like, fun fact, you can get cancer off of one little bit of nuclear radiation. Most of the time, people can be exposed to it on a daily and they're not really aware. But normally, what happens is, depending on the type of rays, they penetrate shit unless you have it concealed by like metal and concrete of all
Yeah.
things. But yeah,
So
so like,
are you like are you like basically living Homer Simpson's life? Where you're like the
Oh my gosh, it's like
no,
where I'm nominally responsible for this one thing that could potentially lead to bad times.
yeah, but you
Thankfully
also
thankfully not to the extent where a meme will be made out of me if I make a split hair decision, but like, um, what's it called? Yeah, no, it's
I just feel like you're living in the opening scene to this, well, the opening scene, the opening credits to like the old Simpsons episodes where Homer's like leaving work and he's clocking out and he turns around and the fucking the rod goes into his back and he's just carrying radiation with him. And then he pulls it out and throws it into the street. I just feel like that you're basically living that.
yeah. But funny enough, the machine itself has a rod, not a nuclear glowing one, but, like, either way, it's like it was actually cool when I learned about the thing. It turns out in construction, they use this thing to, like, specify how, like, dry or wet the soil can be and its percentage for, like, everything that's supposed to meet up a certain thing so that it's foundationally sound to build upon, and I'm just like,
Huh.
"Wow, this is this is pretty cool, pretty cool."
Well, that's a lot more eventful. Like, since I update myself, I'll just tell you what I did the past couple weeks. Well, the past week, I should say. Well,
Mhm.
besides the existential dread I mentioned earlier, honestly, I don't want to make it sound as dire as it is. Like, sure, I
Everything's
owe the
dire.
IRS a ton of money,
Everything
but
is
I
dire
should be
now.
okay. Yeah, I should be okay. Um, the only reason I say that because there's definitely people who have it worse off than me, and I'm that kind of person. I don't mean it in a weird way, but I'm the kind of person that's all like, it could be worse. So I specifically know people personally who have it worse. So I'm like, I shouldn't really complain. But what I will complain about is that I subscribe to Peacock because the Grubhub has been pushing this for like for like months that if you like just open a Peacock account to give you 3 free months. And I don't know if that's a normal thing for Peacock, but definitely Grubhub's been pushing it. So I sub to it. The fucking Peacock app does not want to work on my Kindle. Like it takes forever to load. It's not the internet, it's just the fucking app. And it's funny because I feel like it's getting revenge because I talk shit about the way the Crunchyroll, the Crunchyroll, the Funimation app worked last week.
Mhm.
But yeah. Anyways, I finally got to load for a while, and I was watching some movies. And like, what do they have on here? And it's a bunch of crap that I don't care about. WWE stuff, I guess. I mean, that's to be honest, WWE stuff's probably the only thing I'll watch. I'll go back and watch some '90s wrestling shit. But they did have all the Leprechaun movies, so I
Oh,
decided to
no.
watch Leprechaun in the Hood.
Oh, no.
And first of all, I will say right now that nobody watched that movie for a lot of reasons because like it's horribly horribly like um it has not aged well. I'll leave it like that. But but beyond that, the movie's so bad. Like I was like the first time I put it on, like long story short, I was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, I guess I'm not going to sleep. I'm gonna wait till like 6 I have to get up. So I'm gonna turn on this movie so that I could just pass the time. It made me fall asleep. And TLDR, it took me viewings to finish it. And I feel like I wasted my life watching that movie. I have not felt that way in a while. Usually everything's entertaining, but Leprechaun in the Hood, no, it's not. It's really terrible. Ice T's in it, Coolio's in it, but like, it's not good. It's not good.
Did you say
And part
iced tea, or do you mean,
Ice
like
T, no Ice T, like the
okay.
rapper, like
I'm
Body
not
Count
familiar
or
with
whatever his
iced
band
tea.
is.
And
What's
now
what's
on Law and
cool?
Order.
Oh, is he on Law& and Order? I didn't know he, like, does other acting. I don't really follow. It's actually really funny because I used to always think Body Count was like, and if you don't know what Body Count is, that's the group Ice-T's in. I used to think it was like a rap group, like Limp Bizkit or something like that. No, they're just like a kind of like hardcore group. I don't know. Maybe that's just me like getting so because I was Ice-T was a rapper. I mean, isn't he? But anyways,
Oh, that's who
any
that guy
Yes.
is.
yeah,
Wikipedia
but
lists him as a rapper.
But Body Count is a lot. Are they called Body Count? I keep saying that name, and I'm not 100% sure if that's what the band's called. But Body Count's definitely more of a hardcore metal group, which is kind of odd. Um, that like I know I see from Body Count. Anyway,
Hmm.
fun fact on Black Sabbath's last full length studio album, which is like in 1994. Uh, actually, I shouldn't say last full length because they did one about 10 years ago. But the last one before the Aussie reunions, Ice-T had a rap verse on it. So Ice-T is like the only person who's like ever guested on a Black Sabbath song. Official. Anyway. Don't watch that. And part of me wants to watch Back to the Hood because yes, it had a sequel. But I'm like, Manuel, don't
What?
do it.
Okay, Manuel.
don't do it.
I'm
Anyway.
like looking this up right now.
Oh, I know JD's like wants us to actually. You know what? I swear to God, this is not why I watch them, but it's almost St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, but
That was
that's more next week.
We're like a week away, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not why I watched it. Like maybe I'm not gonna lie because I do fall for advertising really easily sometimes. So maybe that's why the movies were so easy for me to find. Like they were right there. I didn't even think about that. Real fast because I know JD wants to like stop talking about the Leprechaun movies. Um, I realized something like going through these Leprechaun movies. Even though there's like 7 of them, and even though Warwick Davis is in all the original ones, like 6 of them, um, none of them are actually sequels to each other. Even Leprechaun of the Hood and Back to the Hood, they're not sequels to each other. All of them star Warwick Davis with the same character design, um, being a leprechaun, but all of them technically, and most of them, the character's not even named. All of them are technically different leprechauns. And that's just fucking
Really?
crazy. Yeah, that's you would never know that because nobody really watches leprechaun movies. But if you ever do, you'll notice that. It's just like they're not sequels. Like each one is like a new each one's its own movie. Even though they're numbered. Most of them are numbered. Anyway. JD, go find a leprechaun and take its gold so I could pay the IRS. I remember when I was a kid, I like whenever it would I used to always want like because you hear I don't know where I heard it or how one learns this. But the rainbow after the rain. And I remember like I would always look for it. And then like one day I actually saw a rainbow. I mean I've seen several in my life, but the first time I saw one, and I was like, that looks like crap compared to like the imagery that you always see in art or like kids art where it's like this perfect, perfect arc. Like a McDonald's arch, but only one of them. Anyway. Manual disappointed by rainbows.
What's the best Mario game? Why is Super Mario Galaxy 2? Or why is it?
Yeah, let's jump on the Mario thing. In exactly 2 days, March 10th, it's Mario Day. Did you know that, Josh? Do you celebrate Mario Day?
No.
do you
I should as a gamer. I'm not saying that as like it's negatory or anything to it. It's just I don't because I feel like I learn these things as they come.
It's funny because like this is definitely calling it a holiday even correct? This is definitely a thing that's been going on for years. I remember Mario Day happening like 10 years ago, and so and usually it's followed by sales and nonsense. I think this year they're not really doing anything crazy, but they are doing all that Mario Kart stuff.
Mario
All the
Kart.
Mario Kart, yeah, there's Mario Kart DLC, Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Ooh.
There's 48 tracks, and then I think the 17th, which I think is it the 17th? Because if it's 17th, that's St. Patrick's Day. But I think it's the 17th is when the first pack drops, and they're gonna drop like I think 4 packs or something like that over the course of like until the end of next year. But I think the first pack they've already announced it. I just too stupid to look it up. I think the first pack has the Coconut Mall one, so I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the Wii game.
One of the best tracks.
It is the best track. That's the one where on the Wii where the fucking my own me would sometimes fuck me up in the parking lot. It's like you son of a bitch. I knew it would be you who brought me down.
It's the 18th. It comes out.
Oh, it's the 18th. Oh, that would make
Yeah.
sense because I think St. Patrick's is on a Thursday, which is kind of lame for Manuel who wants to. Well, I can get drunk on a Thursday. Who can stop me? Warwick Davis.
Well, if he's the Willow, he will. If it's a Leprechaun, it'll just be this funny thing where somehow things are happening and everything gets resolved within 100 and what?
No,
20 minutes.
it's funny because I was talking to Weston about these movies because I was like I think I was actually talking to him while I was watching them, like when I was falling asleep the first 2 times until I finally finished it, And I was like, what the hell? Poor Warwick Davis must have been really hurting for money in the early 2000s. And then he reminded me that he's in all the fucking Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then why the fuck was he doing these? I
Maybe
mean,
he
maybe
just likes
Just
making
just
movies.
cause. I mean, why does Robert England still like
yeah,
to like tease around his horror persona every now and then,
yeah. I was like,
despite
maybe
him
I
not being
guess
in horror shit?
I guess Warwick Davis just liked being the fucking Leprechaun character. Who does have who he has a name in the first movie, and I don't think he carries it through all the movies. I forgot what the fuck it is, but yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Warwick Davis, if you're watching, send me an autograph.
Thank you.
Thank you for just a series of very hilarious horror movies. And the studio did you dirty. I'm not sure if it was Dimension or whatever, but they should
Oh,
have
they
done.
replaced him. Yeah, they replaced him in the sequels. And well, the
Wait,
sequels, but
what?
the
The
reboots.
reboot.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah,
Wow, I am like
Yeah.
just out of the loop. I didn't even know they were still making. I did not know they
yeah.
were still making Leprechaun things. But while we're on
They've
that, then
actually.
that I was expecting when I was a kid to see Chucky versus Leprechaun, just because people were throwing out that shit ever since the Fray versus Jason. So, um, yeah, they definitely did them super dirty then, not joking wise, because they still
Yeah.
kept the original voice actor for Chucky. So I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Well, no, they replaced Chucky too.
Oh, they replaced him in the remake. Well, okay, because
Yeah, the newest one with Mark Hamill.
now there's two Chucky universes. There's the real one, the as far as I'm concerned, it's the real one. But
Mhm.
then like, which never stopped, which is so annoying that they rebooted it. It's never stopped, but they remade the original one, and then they made it. th- there was no voodoo. It's just a doll that's like
Like, sounds like the
misprogrammed.
Joker or what? Does the
No,
doll sound
like
like the Joker, or how does it sound?
honestly, it's the most underutilized Mark Hamill I've ever heard. And
Really?
like if I didn't know going in that was Mark Hamill, I wouldn't have recognized Mark Hamill. And I know that that sounds weird because voice actor doesn't have to be like Luke Skywalker or Joker, but the character by its nature, because he's like a legit just a machine in this one, like a robot.
Really?
Um, he kind of talks like very robotic, so it's like, oh, I guess you hear robotic Mark Hamill. It's
So,
like
what
I don't
is the
know.
plot exactly then? If he's just an evil robot, like, what did
Have have
Skynet
you
like fuck
have you
up
ever
and it
seen
just
have you ever seen that Krusty episode? I mean, the Krusty episode. Have you ever seen that Simpsons episode where Homer buys the Krusty doll from that random place, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
here's your problem. This doll's set to evil.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened.
What? You're
Some
telling me
dis
there's a actual option on this doll to like
well,
is
like
it just on all of them by default, or they just made this one that happens to have like an evil setting or something?
no, the it at the opening scene, they're in like some factory, which I think they're referencing something like some Apple thing that happened in real life, but I don't know. Anyways, there's some disgruntled worker like in China somewhere, or was it China? I don't want to just say it was
Wow.
Yeah, of course
somewhere.
it's China for you, Manuel.
I'm pretty sure it was China though, but
Wow.
and they're manufacturing these things, and this dude's just like, "Oh, your performance terrible. You're fired." And like, don't ask me why you would fire someone, but then let them keep working, like like finish their day. Like that's the kind of thing you tell them when they first show up or when they're leaving. But anyways, they fire him, and the dude, of course, just sitting there like, "Oh, fuck you, then." And he like gets the doll that he was wrapping up on, and he's all like, "Let me just delete all the firewalls and safety locks and whatever." So he basically makes it so that like the doll doesn't know to not kill, I guess.
So he pretty much, well, that's not how robots work
Oh,
because,
Manuel.
3 laws of
Yes.
robotics.
Huh?
It's Vietnam.
Oh, okay. In Asia, what?
Uh so
Honestly,
it's
the Vietnam thing makes more sense because I think that was where like the apple, because it's referencing something like that. I think the guy killed himself too. Like, I mean, in the movie, I think the guy did in real life also. The character, the whole scene that they're referencing, but the dude, he makes the doll evil, then he kills himself, and no one knows the doll's evil, and then it gets sold, and then yeah, it starts killing people. And it's funny because there was all this talk about like a new trilogy from there, or not trilogy, but a new series. But technically, whoever the fuck made that movie, it's only because the original Child's Play movie, the first movie, the rights are all fucky. So
oh,
they could
yeah, I
they could
mean,
yeah they could just keep remaking the first movie, but they can't like make a sequel really. And there's all these legal. So I'm both like pleased and upset because part of me would like just evil doll, like real evil robot. I mean, like Terminator kind of child Terminator, Terminator Junior. But no. Aubrey Plaza was in that one. I remember we were talking about that before. I'm like, oh, she's I'm like, Aubrey Plaza is probably like the closest thing I have to like a celebrity crush. I've, I've mentioned this in like a year ago. Character development.
Mhm.
Anyways, anyways.
So, what are we actually talking today, Manuel?
I want to talk about Child's Play. I have so many stories.
Save it for October.
There was this time okay, yeah, you're right. Anyways, spoiler, a teaser for October. There was a time when a Chucky doll actually like we swore it moved. I'll say wait months to hear that story. Anyway, Mario Day. We got really distracted here. Brad does Chucky and now Mark Hamill Chucky. Anyways, Mario Day. What's your favorite Mario game?
Mario 64.
Really?
Or I guess it's Super Mario 64, but like, yeah. And I'm not
Oh,
taking anything
is it
away from
actually
like Galaxy or Galaxy 2. I'm just gonna be honest. I have not played Galaxy and Galaxy 2. But I played a little bit of Odyssey. Odyssey is pretty fun, but I haven't gotten past the like. I think it's like the Dia de los Muertos inspired level.
I
I
haven't
was doing
either.
some of it, but I also don't own the game, so somebody just brought it over and I played for a bit. And I
Oh,
was like, yeah,
okay.
this is pretty fun. But like a game that I played over and over again that I really enjoy is Super Mario 64. So I'm going with that one just because of how often I played it.
I remember that game I have a lot of memories with because I remember there was the Sears kiosk. Yes, the Sears kiosk that had N64 games at one point.
Yeah.
And I walked in there and they had Mario 64 and it was my first time I'd ever seen an N64 controller and the first time I'd ever seen an analog stick. And the game I don't think even has a well, definitely this mode was already past that if it has I can't remember off the top of my head if it has a tutorial. So I figured out the controls right away and played. And to this day, it pisses me off whenever I see the memes of like TikTok kids who are all like, "How do you hold an N64 controller? Does it have? Are you supposed to have 3 hands?" And I'm like, "Are you stupid? Have you played an N64 game? Because if you ever played an N64 game, you're never meant to hold all three. If you were using the analog stick, you held the middle. If you were using a game that used a D-pad, which are actually kind of rare, you would hold the left and the right."
Yeah.
Admittedly, it was still bad design, don't get me wrong, but it was still one of the first. You can't really fault it, I think. But like there are people like on like I can't tell if they're joking or not. I don't think all of them are. Where like they'll be holding the left, either end, and they'll be reaching for the analog stick, like from the end. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Just hold the middle. Just hold the middle. Ugh, pisses me off. I hate people. If you saw an N64 controller today, JD, would you know how to use it for the first time?
Well, it obviously wouldn't be the first time. I
Don't
would
worry,
probably be a little
I'll
confused
fix
too.
myself.
Anyway,
Anyway, so
um,
like here I have a visual aid because
oh, you
clearly
have an
you're gonna
N64
bring up
controller?
stuff from like the past and not properly do so. So here
See?
is a Nintendo 64, just the classic as fuck controller. And so here's what would normally happen for most games. You'd be holding it like this with these fingers or like these hands. And and I'll agree, it was really rare. But there would be some games that would utilize the D-pad, so you would hold it like
Uh,
this.
just
You'd be used to
FYI,
And
your
just
like,
hands are off screen right now.
oh, sorry.
oh,
Here we go.
and there's
So anyway,
even
you'd be holding it like this as such, or you would be
see, and
holding
there's a
it like
button,
this.
and there's a button in the behind the analog stick
Yes, the Z
that
button.
replaces L because like you can't technically reach L when you're doing that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know how do people hit Z if they're reaching for because like a lot of people like there's like memes about it where not millennials, Gen Zers, if they grab one today, their first reaction is to reach for the analog from the left. Kind of like as if they were playing a PS2 controller or any PlayStation controller. But I'm like, why would you do that? And how long would it take you to realize you're doing it wrong? Because you would need the Z button in like any game that used the analog stick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This
But
this
yeah,
was a fun little trigger thing like before in the day, and it's just Like, I'm just surprised by how much it wasn't really utilized to that extent until like probably even past like the I think it was the 6th gen or so. I think it was more like a 7th gen thing when we started using like bumpers and stuff.
It's actually in the chat, Weston's like, I like Mario 3 because it's a play. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that until like, I knew that a while ago because I think Shigeru Miyamoto said that interview like 10 years ago or something like that. So, but 3 was my favorite one most of the time. But I'm also a horrible person. The way I played 3 the most was in Mario All Stars, the SNES version. So every so often when I play the original 3, I'm like, oh, this controls a little differently and it looks really different. Um, but I also was a huge fan of Mario World. I never really liked the first Mario Brothers game, and I definitely didn't like Lost Levels. And I wasn't a huge fan of Mario 2, even though that might be a hot take because everyone likes the weird one where you pick things up, Doki Doki Panic.
Mhm.
But
Technically, that game was it's a full circle thing. What happened was
yeah.
apparently that was supposed to be 2, and then Nintendo was like, "Nah, that's weird." So then they just were like, "Okay, we'll make it. We still have this idea. Let's use it for something." And that's how Doki Doki Panic came to be. And then when they were finally getting around to a different concept for Mario 2, they were like, "Okay, we now have this shit. This shit's really hard.
Oh, the
Okay, I
original
don't."
Mario 2, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, "I don't think this will translate well in the West since it's very repetitive and you like nobody could tell a difference, and it's just harder with like not being able to tell both the poison mushroom and just the layout of levels is just more difficult." So then they were like, "Shit, what do we send to the West?" And then they're like, "Oh, what about that other idea?" So
Doki fun fact that nobody really talks about much, Doki Doki Panic and Mario 2 were technically on the fucking, the Famicom disk system. I have my disk system right there, but I don't feel like I'll knock things over. Maybe I'll grab it later. But,
you
so
know
they're on
the
these.
bigger collection than anyone.
Do I have it right here? Ah, shit. Of course, it's not in this immediate stack. Here's Zelda 2. This is a
Damn. I
Famicom
had no
disc.
idea.
This is a Famicom disc. It's like a floppy disk. Oh, I pulled the fucking sleeve out with it. And this is the way Mario
Dude,
2 and Doki
I
Doki
had
Panic
no
came.
clue. Holy
Um,
shit.
but what's funny is that because of that, there were some weird graphic things that were different from Mario 2 to Doki Doki Panic, or vice versa, I should say. And in Doki Doki Panic, the waterfalls were almost like they would almost blind you because they would move so fast.
Mhm,
And Mario 2, Doki Doki Panic had a save system because it's a floppy disk game. But yeah,
mhm.
by the way, yeah, Zelda. If you didn't know this, Zelda 2 in Japan never got a cartridge. Zelda 1 got a
Really?
cartridge. Yeah, Zelda 1 got a cartridge later on, but Zelda 2 has only ever been a disc in Japan.
Huh.
Yeah, a little piece of yeah. See, so much of a random collectory person I used to be. I'm really not anymore. I'll probably sell these. Anyone want this? Just shoot me an offer. Anyway,
Help him
I have
fight
a
the
lot.
IRS by buying his
Yeah,
video games.
exactly. I have a lot more. Uh, I have a lot more fucking. I was trying to look for it because I do have Mario 2, but I guess it's not in the stack I grabbed. Anyway, uh,
Oh shit, you're kinda hazy.
oh, what
Yeah.
happened?
Oh,
All
you're
right.
back. You're
Just
you're
get your
back.
camera
I think
manual.
you were being drifted into the shadow realm or something.
But Mario 2 was the one that's like the hard version, and like what most people don't know because most people don't play the original. They might play like the Mario All Stars version, which is technically the only time it's ever been officially released in the US.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's also on the Switch, Nintendo service or whatever now.
Hmm.
But but in the original one, like I don't know if that's what you're referring to, Josh. I don't think you could physically see the difference between a poison mushroom and a regular mushroom.
No, you can't.
Like
It
it's just
only
a
goes off
mushroom.
of, like, the direction that it's going in. But most
Yes,
people wouldn't know,
exactly.
so, like,
Because
it
in later games they made it purple, but it wasn't like that in the original game. The original game, you hit it like, oh, it's a mushroom. Let me grab it. It's the first mushroom too. It's like such a troll move. and you grab it and it kills you. Also in the original version of Mario 3, much like the original Mario Brothers game, um, if you had a fire flower or a leaf or whatever that gave you the Snooki powers, and you got hit, you didn't go back to Big Mario, you went back to Small Mario. And they changed that in the US and made it like a little easier. But honestly, I think that's a good change because that game was kind of stupid hard with the original Japanese version. And I do think the American way, where you go big then small, um, has been quote unquote like became the official way throughout all the rest of them. I mean, the releases or whatever. But yeah, 3 and World are my favorite. I love Mario 64, but like it's one of the hardest ones for me to go back to. Like, I don't know. Do you remember what that level was called? The one where you go up the clock towery thing?
I don't remember the level, but I know what you're talking about.
That
Where
level was fucking annoying.
yeah, the world that's very much like right before the Bowser, what's it called? The last Bowser fight. And they're like there's the clock world and then there's the rainbow, what's it called? It's not Rainbow Road, it's something else, but like
Yeah.
Manuel, the name of that
What?
level is called Tick Tock Clock.
Oh,
TikTok
TikTok
clock.
clock clock. I had a feeling clock was in the name. Yeah, that fucking level is annoying. It's like,
Mhm.
um, I'm not gonna lie. I've never been huge on 3D platformers. I think I'm okay with 2D platformers, but 3D platformers, I think it's just something to do. It's probably my eyes. I'm just like always been blind. I swear,
Yeah.
depth perception type thing. Uh,
And
but
Josh,
like I've never. Huh?
sorry, that
Oh,
level is
what's the
called
rainbow?
Rainbow Ride.
Rainbow Ride. Thank you.
It's funny because that predates Rainbow Road, and I don't think I ever realized until this second. And I'm sure somebody's like, "God damn it, man, you're stupid." I don't think I ever realized till this second. Was that where Rainbow Road comes from?
No, it's a totally different. Well,
Because
no,
Rainbow Road
no,
wasn't.
that's wrong.
Because
Rainbow Road existed before
what was it
Rainbow
in?
Ride.
Was it in Super Mario?
It's
Super
in
Mario
Super Mario
Kart.
Kart. So
See,
Yes.
I played that one, but I never was good at the original Mario Kart. That's the one
no,
with the coins around the floor.
the original one is like not. I mean, like it's okay, but it wasn't addicting because the AI is stupid hard, and the
So
levels aren't really all that different from each other because of its kind of isometric
yeah.
view, and it's just a little weird. Like it's a little jank. But I mean, it's an okay game, but it's not one that like it gets like, oh, I'm hooked on it. There's something about 64 that's like very. It's both welcoming. It's also jank in a different kind of way, but like
It's really
it's
jank.
so much fun though. It's like the voice acting, the power ups are just better, and I mean Mario Kart only gets better over time. I just think that 64 is like a
Yeah.
nostalgic trip that everybody sees more fondly. They won't go back to like the first Super Mario Kart because it's just kind of like there was such a technological leap when it went to that one.
It's funny because like if you play Mario 64, I mean Mario 64, well that too I guess technically, but
Yeah,
if you play Mario Kart 64 now, it feels almost unfinished in some ways, which I don't know, maybe it was. But if you start playing it now, it's like, oh, the tracks are kind of bare. Um, the designs are really basic. It's like everything that's like
yeah,
giant polygons. Like oh, that tree is just like a diamond or kind. It's not a diamond, but you
hmm
know, it's like made out of 4 polygons to like 8 million, shit
yeah.
like that.
Well,
And huh?
I
Is
was just
JD
saying,
gonna get
yeah, it's
upset
definitely
because
not
I'm
8
like talking
million
shit about you?
polygons on the N64 manual.
but uh but yeah, I played Mario Kart 64 recently and I'm like, oh, because fun fact, even though I had the game as a kid, I never was into Mario Kart. Like when the N64 came out, I was like, and I eventually got one. I was way more of like, oh, I'm gonna play all the wrestling games. I was into wrestling like a fucking idiot. Not like a fucking idiot. I just liked wrestling for a while in the 90s. But going back to Mario, um, so I've never been a huge fan of the 3D platformers, but I did think Sunshine was pretty good, and I did like the first Galaxy. If you've never played Galaxy 2, it's literally like a remake of Galaxy 1. So I think that's part of the I mean, not to say that should have still been part of that 3D classics thing, but I think that's probably Nintendo's excuse of why it wasn't in there because it's like the same. It's like an alternate story of it. Because spoiler alert, in Galaxy, the end of Galaxy One, should I even say this? But the end of Galaxy One, it doesn't matter. Nobody plays Mario for the stories. They basically like do it so it never happens.
Really?
Yeah. So in Galaxy Two, it's like, oh, it's happening again, but different. And
That,
Yoshi's here.
that's a weird choice.
And Cloud Mario.
Yeah, is that the one with B with the B?
No, both of them have bees.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I
Not
can't remember
bees.
B's in the first one too. Yeah, I played the second one a lot too, but it was only the first one I ever really got into. I love the Wii, by the way. But did you ever play any of the Mario RPG games?
Mario RPG. I actually have Super Mario RPG that I've been meaning to get through. It's on my Wii, but it sucks because my Wii sometimes has an issue with its outlets. So I've tried like it's both the component cable or I'll just do the normal
Oh,
Y, or the yellow, red, and white. But for some reason, sometimes that connection goes off. Right now, it's connected and it seems to be okay. So I'm trying to get through Super Mario RPG. I'm thinking I'll just stream it because it's like straight up the first time I've ever played it. I
oh,
played Paper Mario and I love the shit out of that game, but I've never finished it just because when I was playing it, I was just renting it off of well,
oh,
I only rented it like twice. My parents only allowed me to rent it twice from Blockbuster, and I still had not finished it. And for me, because I never played RPGs before, it was pretty much a difficult game, but it was really fun because the RPG elements felt like there was an interactive sequence to them. But it was very much different than Pokemon. Pokemon was just advanced rock paper. What's it called? Was just like rock paper scissors on steroids, and I really enjoyed that. But Super Mario RPG, I had to do this thing called apparently strategy, because like if you don't figure out what you're doing right away, you'll just get rocked by the other team. But I thought it was really cool since you could do like some early reaction commands that could like cause you to like do more damage, and the characters were super funny. But I think I stopped up until the desert level, and I still need to go. Like if I'm able to, I should go back and find a way to play it outside of just emulation. But like yeah, and I haven't played the Thousand Year Door, which apparently is amazing. And then I haven't played any other. I haven't played that game, and I haven't played like the other Paper Mario game or the Mario Luigi ones. But that was from lack of a DS when I was younger.
Manuel, you're silent.
Why are you silent, Manuel? Manuel?
He's fixing it
there it
right
goes.
now.
There we go.
Just in case anyone was wondering, I wasn't talking until I was just right now. So thank God you didn't. It's not like I'm upset that you couldn't hear what I was saying. I was letting Josh talk, but I did say when you noticed I wasn't talking, was that what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I know now off top. I do know that there's other Paper Mario games. When you were talking about Paper Mario that you played it and didn't finish it, I forgot
Mm-hmm.
there was an N64 one, and I'm like, oh yeah, I actually have that one boxed, and I got it at a GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I remember they were trying to sell me an unboxed one. You know how GameStop is with its used games. They were
Mhm.
trying to sell me a loose cart, and I'm like, no, I want the one in the box. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
no, we have to keep that one for display. And I'm like, it's not even like the other games where you can look at it. It's just in the case, like in the glass case. And they
Mm-hmm.
gave it to me, and they were not happy with it. But yeah, I have that one complete. I wonder if I can sell that. But Thousand Year Door is amazing. I'm surprised you haven't played that one. That was the one I thought you were talking about the whole time. Um, my one big gripe with Thousand Year Door is that there's a ton of dialogue. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone really talk about that in all the retrospectives. They're always like, "Oh, the game's amazing. It's the best one. And everything sucked afterwards." But like, you would go through like intense dialogue screens where it would just be like walls of text, like for the longest time. But it was a fun game. I liked it. Some of the later games were okay too. They just weren't RPGs. And Mario and Luigi, that series was hit and miss. I played the Game Boy ones, the Game Boy Advance ones. I never kept going to the DS, even though I own like all of them. Well, I did. I think I sold all my DS ones, but whatever. Um, but yeah,
All right, Manuel.
those those are the favorite Mario games. I will say that going back to Odyssey real fast, I don't like Odyssey really at all, which I seem to be the minority for. But I did not like Odyssey.
Yeah, what is
Um,
wrong with you? Why would you not like it?
He doesn't like it because it's nothing like the original Odyssey that he barely survived with Odysseus.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. And you were
You know,
calling
Disney.
me Homer? You were calling me Homer. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going full circle there. Oh, but yeah, my favorite thing. I was watching that Simpsons episode recently where they were spoofing the Odyssey,
Mm-hmm.
and there was. I think I already mentioned this, but there was a my favorite joke. I swear to God, in like rewatching The Simpsons, was when Cersei turned all of his like, or I think it was Cersei. This is about it. They turned all of his crew into like pigs, and Homer shows up and he's like, "Oh, that pig looks just like Lenny," and he bites into it, and it's clearly Lenny. He's like eating it. He's like, "This is the best thing next to eating Lenny." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, and then he eats the crew. He eats all of his people. He eats Lenny. I forgot. I think when he was King Kong, he also ate Lenny. Anyway, Manuel discovering that there's Simpsons references in the whole in some of these episodes. Anyways. Mario's missing. Mario's missing is a terrible game. It's the it's like Carmen Sandiego with Mario, and Carmen Sandiego is a great game, but Mario is missing is not. I remember,
Okay, Manuel.
yeah,
Let
TLDR. I was really disappointed. Let what?
Let's move on.
Anyways, before we move on, what's your favorite Mario game, JD? Let's get you out
Super
the
Mario
way.
Galaxy 2. I kept
Oh,
saying
what
it.
the fuck? That's the worst one.
It's the
I'm just
best
kidding.
one
It's okay, but why would you like two and not one?
because it improves on everything one does and adds
It just
Yoshi.
has Yoshi. I was gonna say, it just has Yoshi. That's all. That's the funny thing, though. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not a remake in the purest sense, but I'm pretty sure that's why. Like, and you would notice it more today because I don't think anyone really played Mario Galaxy 2 back in its early days. I mean, I'm sure
I played
millions
Mario
did,
Galaxy 2 back then.
but anyway, uh, you have bad taste, JD.
Well, time to stop the stream. It's been nice
I
knowing
was
you
gonna
all.
say, like, bad taste to host. Oh shit! How did we talk about Mario for like 45 minutes? Anyway,
You were talking about the
uh,
Leprechaun for like a
oh,
good
I
Yeah,
while
forgot.
and then
too.
Child's Play.
You remember how in Freddy's Dead, he's playing with the power glove? It's like now I'm playing with power or whatever.
Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
anyway, anyway, are you are you familiar with yaoi paddles, Josh? I
Yes,
almost called you GD.
I'm familiar with them, not from a first-hand account, thankfully, but like I used to see them back in like circa 2000. Well, there was like a big. I think the last anime con I went to that had them might have been 2011, but I think I would see them from 2008 to 2011. But
See, he didn't even need me to go to Mon to say that. No, okay,
I
don't
mean, they
worry.
could have existed a little longer, but that was like the only time where I really
Well,
remember seeing the yaoi paddle when it was being
no,
sold.
it's just hilarious because I've been saying for years that Red Bar's video, Red Bar is a YouTuber who did a video on the yaoi paddle, and I keep saying her video is wrong. That they were still like, or let me rephrase that. She shouldn't say that this is all the way it happened. She's only speaking about the East Coast, I think. And she did not contact anyone on the West Coast. I
I
swear to
think I
God.
might have seen this, the history of
Because
the yaoi paddle or
yeah,
something.
because in that video she pretty much says, "Oh, no con had them by 2009 or whatever the year she or
Oh, they still
2008 or
sold
whatever."
them.
Exactly, and
I
it's
saw
funny
it at
because
AX 2010. Like I saw that
exactly.
they had it there.
So it's just hilarious that I've been like I've been like saying this and I've been commenting on that video like and these people have been like, yeah, I saw him too, and like she even did a redo of the video and still didn't correct it, and I'm like. Like they clearly was like maybe Hendon has stopped, who apparently is the one who like we're gonna get to why I'm bringing this up by the way in a second. Maybe Hendon has stopped selling them, but other people were, which is hilarious because I'm talking about next. So Josh,
Mhm.
this is kind of a repeat of what we talked about last week, but then we have a lot more information on it, and I want to bring it up. Did you know that they're trying to bring back the yaoi paddle?
No, I did not know they're trying to bring back the yaoi paddle.
Yes, there's this dude named Henry. I'm not sure if it's just Henry Al, because his last name is like A, or his other name is AL, but it's like it's always shown in to be all caps. So I'm like, is that just the way he chooses to spell it? Anyways, or is it, it's this dude named Henry. We call him Henry. Apparently he's from the UK. I learned all this earlier. Um, Started a Kickstarter to relaunch the Yaoi paddle, and the whole idea this time around is they're definitely banned from like every convention, pretty much.
Are they gonna
Uh,
make a tournament legal? Is that what he's doing? Like
no, he just
he's gonna bring
like
back the yaoi paddle that's gonna be nerfed as fuck or what?
no, he's gonna bring it back, and basically the idea is like, oh, you could just put it on your mantle or something like just bring it back and like hang it on the wall next to your fucking like wall scroll or some shit. Um, that's the idea. And Hengdane, who is apparently the company that uh sold them originally, which once again, now the more I think about it, I'm pretty sure the booth that I saw them at AX and the booth you probably saw them at AX wasn't their booth. So other people were selling them too. But they tried to shut it down. Well, they did shut it down, the Kickstarter, by saying that like, oh, we own this design.
Mhm.
And I'm like, bro, it's a mass marketed paddle, like a paddle, like an oar, like a
It's
thing
like
you use.
what was the what's it called? The print or the text? I'm trying to remember like what it was that they had.
Yeah, and I don't know who owns the font, but it's not even
Font,
their
that's the word I
font.
was looking for.
Yeah, like I think it's a standard font because it's like just woodburn. It's not done by hand. It's like a machine did it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a font that I'm pretty sure that if I bought a bunch of paddles from like Paddles R Us, I don't know who the fuck makes paddles, but like it's a thing you buy and just license the font and did it like that. What right do they have? And they keep saying that it's copywritten. I'm like, for one thing, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't really care if people get upset by this. Uh I if they I don't think they have it copyrighted. Manuel's a copyright lawyer here. But even if they do, that's some fucked up shit because it's literally something that you could buy off the shelf and they don't own the word yaoi.
Yeah, no, they don't.
It's
You
like
could make you could
I
like
don't
get just anything, grab a fucking cricket and then just print out your own whatever paddle you want.
I mean, a
it's
cricket
just funny.
bat, right?
Yeah. No, get a cricket. Just get that cricket that comes in my room sometimes and like makes all that noise. Uh, but oh yeah, see, like even Weston saying he would see like 2012, 2014, but or that's when they started really canceling here. Like I said, I think the yaoi paddle lasted a lot longer here. But anyways, we talked about it last week, and and I brought the honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When we brought it up last week, I wanted last week's episode to be pretty much all about Pokemon, and then like a dumbass, I like screwed up that topic. So I'm like, let's talk about the other topics for the week. And the yaoi paddle was kind of a throwaway. I didn't really have a lot of info on it then. But the dude involved with the yaoi paddle commented on the video on YouTube, and he seems to be like doing like a little bit of a PR thingy by commenting on other videos because I did some minor research mainly to find out what other people's views were. I'm like, does everyone else think this is stupid if they have it copywritten? And I see him in the comment sections of other videos, but but a lot of people were the same mind. It's like, what do they own? What does Hendanet own? And how did they bully Kickstarter to take it down? I don't know. But to be fair, I do see, and this is not what Hendanet really seems to care about. That they just think they own it. But I do see if you don't like it because they were a nuisance at cons. Remember the way cons were back then? You remember like glomping? Remember glomping? I feel
Pretty
like
much.
yaoi paddles. Yeah, I feel like yaoi paddles and glomping kind of go hand in hand with that era, like a very, very, very pre cosplay is not consent era. Um,
Yeah, well, I mean that's what normally occurred. Everybody was very much like, well, it was also just really different because everybody it wasn't yet at the point where anime would explode. Thank you, Attack on Titan. I really feel like Attack on Titan was the one that like caused everything to like
blow
explode
up.
to more in the mainstream. But like, no, it was still a time where like it was still relatively pretty niche, and it was more like this big thing for like other people who like enjoyed cosplay or enjoyed what's it called, other related nerd things and stuff. Like even then you would still see like some
Yaoi.
Comic Con cosplays and stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
everything would just kind of coincide, so it was like, you'd have people who would just still be kind of chill, the people who are like figuring out cosplay and how to do it like more efficiently, and then you have just like really young kids and hopefully not really stupid 20-year-olds like really just acting the fool with with one another. boundaries were definitely not like set up or anything like that, which was terrible. And that's what led to like just everybody bonking each other with that stupid thing repetitively over and over again. So
It's funny because I don't think people, um, I haven't not heard anyone talk about these pretty much at all. So I'm not sure how big they were in the con scene. Maybe I just saw too many people with these. Remember the yaoi fans? Does anyone remember those?
are you when you mean the yaoi fans, like you mean a fan that says yaoi on it, or like
No, well, I think it did say yaoi, but it wasn't like it kind of felt like, like the way the fans you would open, I don't know what they call those fans, like the Asian fans or whatever. I'm not sure what you call those, the folding fans that go like
okay.
this. It was
Yeah.
kind of like that, but they were like folded onto each other like accordion style, and they would
Hmm.
go like you could do like this.
Hmm.
And it's hard to explain, but people, I remember everyone hitting each other with yaoi fans after the paddles. Like, I'm not sure who started that, but, like, somebody was like, "Oh, let's do the," because, a paddle is a paddle, you can, like, really hurt someone, but a fan is like, it wasn't pa it was, I think it was, like, either a really thick paper or, like, cloth or something like that, so it still hurt, arguably, it hurt as much, but it technically, I think the idea was it would hurt less, um, but I don't know, con life was weird back then, especially with, like, I mean, you still see, like, the kids around all the time, but I think because back then it was a lot easier to ghost conventions, because there was a time, folks, when you didn't have to get, like, security checked to enter the con area.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, that they do that now, but there was a time when that wasn't it's actually a very recent time that that wasn't a normal thing. But, so, like, you have, like, kids who I'm pretty sure were not, like, there officially, like, they didn't have a badge. They would
Yeah.
just, like, wander in and, like, be obnoxious in the hallways. Uh,
Yep.
I don't know, I wonder what happens to people like that, like, because I'm like, technically, they would all still be in the con scene to if unless they grew out of it, but, like, they would all be a lot older now, and it's like, are they still obnoxious? I'm pretty sure one of them's Ren. Anyway, I'm talking shit about Ren. But to jump back on it, I don't know. Like I I would get it if Hendenet was all like, let's not bring these back because they cause harm. But Hendenet's just straight up like, we own this. Um and like that just feels like they're a patent troll, like the people who just like and I know patent's different than copyright, but they feel like patent trolls, like the people who just like own something for the sake of suing others when they bring it up.
Mm.
But yeah, Anime News Network has written several articles about this, and the dude Henry's already been quoted by like he says he's still gonna do it, and he pretty much said the same thing. Like he doesn't understand how they can claim a copyright to this. Um, so yeah, I think he called it fraud. I did it, or someone called it fraud. Was quoted like fraud. The word fraud was thrown around, but not by Manuel. Don't sue me. I already got the IRS doing that, but but yeah, I just think that's funny. Do you want me to get you a yaoi paddle, JD?
No, thank you.
Glomping. Oh, glomping. Real fast, I want to say that I'll never forget. Like I think it was Anime Expo 2010. I was there with my then girlfriend, and she was cosplaying. And I was walking with her, and and we were leaning against this pole. And out of nowhere, I got glomped. Like if you don't know what glomping is, it's basically just someone just runs up and like like tackle hugs you.
Hmm.
And thank God they were small, and I'm a pretty big guy, so just like I kind of just stumbled a bit. I think I almost knocked my girlfriend down though, but I just stumbled a bit. And apparently she just did that because like her friends like dared her to glomp someone, and I was like the only person. And I think I was the only person in the hall. So yeah, imagine shit like that. Like imagine like what they were. And there were all these horror stories about like cosplayers, like, oh, somebody dressed up as L, and like, oh, I love L. They would just glomp them. L from Death Note, by the way. Um, my last little con story that I love from old con days is that there was this guy who was like, uh, I'm sure he's someone hugely famous because he was a guest. He was like a director or something on some anime movie that was coming out that year. And he would just walk in the halls because, of course, the weebs don't know these people. Like, they know Vic Mignogna, and they don't fucking know the guy who actually
Shh,
like directed the
not him.
anime. Like,
Anybody but him,
like,
Manuel.
but you know what I mean? Because we're talking like 2000, like 2010. So, anyways, he was this dude's walking. I only recognized him because I'm like, oh, that's a dude from the opening ceremonies. I don't really know who he is either. But he's walking through the hallways and he sees someone in a Naruto cosplay, like they're dressed up as Naruto. And I don't want to talk shit about cosplay, like cosplay's cosplay, but it was clearly like a store bought cosplay. I'm sure this person did not make this Naruto thing, but not that that really matters in general, but it's just funny what I'm about to say. So the dude, the guest, stops and he's all like, he's with the translator. He has to translate and they're talking furiously back and forth. And the translator's like, he wants to know if he take your picture. And he's like, they're like, yeah, sure. And they seem kind of confused too. And it was a girl in the Naruto cosplay, by the way. But the girl gets up and she's all like posing for the picture or whatever. And he's all like, "Oh, a friend of mine, like a friend of the animator, saying this. Like a friend of mine works on Naruto, and I want to show him that the people like know it in the U.S." And I'm like, "Did you just get here? Like, was this like have you not walked around the convention center? Because I assure you, like back in those days, half the attendees, or like half the attendees who were under 20 were wearing, at the very least, wearing a Naruto headband, if not in some sort of like Naruto cosplay."
Yeah.
But I just thought that was amusing. That like I assume that was the first Naruto cosplayer he saw. I'm sure that that feeling wore off. And also apparently this dude knew somebody who like was probably a director on the show. Anyways. Let's jump around. What was the other topic of the day, JD? I forgot what it was.
You want to talk about International Women's Day, but I don't think we're the
Oh,
best crowd
no,
to
no.
talk about it.
Yeah, women are quote Manuel right now. I don't like women. Women shut up.
I like how
Shut up.
that is part of your title, and we literally dedicated no time to this.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, because I thought Nyaru was gonna be on our side. By the way, Nyaru canceled. I didn't even say that earlier. I was too busy talking about the IRS. Real fast, today's International Women's Day, and my big take on it was that people keep sharing this tweet from Burger King last, or I think it was like 2 years ago, where like the official Burger King Twitter tweeted out that women belong in the kitchen. I was like, fucking hell. And they tried to defend it, like in the comments, by saying what they meant was that like less than 20% of professional chefs or whatever, people in the industry are female, and that they were looking to up that ratio. And I'm like, then you say that. You don't say women belong in the kitchen, or you at
It
the very
was
least
it
add
was
that to your
purposely
original
done because they knew it would get reactions. They knew it
that
would gain traction.
honestly, yeah.
That was a purposely stupid thing they said because they knew what would happen. They would get the people who would say, "What the fuck, Burger King?" And then you would have all the misogynists show up and defend Burger King. They knew what they
Hey
were
Har,
doing with that.
hey Har, get in the kitchen. You belong in the kitchen. Go make Warren a sandwich. Okay, I'm gonna get canceled now. For anyone
Like you
watching,
weren't.
I know Har. I know Har. That's a joke. I'm joking. I am joke.
Or the
I am a joke.
incels who will ask Men's Day is November 19th.
Is it really? I didn't know that. I didn't know there
Yes,
was a men's day. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know there was a Women's Day or a Women's Month. Apparently, this is Women's Month, by the way.
Women's History Month.
Um, yeah, I did not know this. I'm like, when did this become a thing? Not to say it shouldn't be, but I didn't know. The only reason I know about this because a lot of the YouTuber, I mean, how do I say this word? Sorry, I need to start the sentence again. It's not that I don't know how to say it. I'm just can't talk right now. A lot of YouTubers I watch who are female have been tweeting about like things all month, like mostly joking, like like oh it's my month, so you have to watch all my videos, lol, lol. And then people today, oh, because Discord was down and so was Spotify.
Spotify.
um I can't remember which YouTuber it was I watched. They tweeted, it's like, how is it that I am a woman who uses
Integrity.
Spotify and Discord and like it, and they're both down today. I think this is suspect. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
Manuel.
yes. Yes.
To answer your question, first recognized as like Women's History Month in 1987. Before that, it had been a day, and then obviously this day, and then a week. Then it was Women's History Month in 1987.
The funny thing is, I just swear to God, I'm not saying that like I could just be stupid. Okay, I am stupid, but I could just be really oblivious. But I swear to everyone, this is the first year I've ever heard of either Women's Day or Women's Month. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, Parents Women's Day, Women's Month. Go support local. Go support women. I don't know. What do I say that doesn't make it sound trite? Uh, just go be an okay person. If you're an okay person, like not misogynist or hateful, I'm pretty sure you'll be supporting everyone just by living your life. Anyway, but no, the other big topic was that it's Sailor Moon anniversary. It's Sailor
Mhm.
Moon's 30th anniversary of the anime, I should say. Uh, today, yes, because it was yesterday in Japan, so today is the 30th anniversary of Sailor Moon. And do you like Sailor Moon, Josh?
Yes, of course I like Sailor Moon.
It's funny because for the longest time, Sailor Moon used to be like my guilty pleasure, for lack of a better term. And it's funny because of all the anime that could be someone's guilty pleasure. Why was it Sailor Moon for me? Because I think most anime fans, it's like basic bitch anime. It's like everyone likes Sailor Moon, you know. Um, it's like why did I think that was a weird thing to like? I mean,
Probably
I could be
because we were like living in a time where masculinity was pretty much a thing that they said you either have it or you don't have it while you watching girl shit. And then like that, like I'm pretty sure that was the main reason because everybody would just watch Dragon Ball Z unapologetically. And then afterwards it became very much a situation where either because it was on like right after Dragon Ball Z, or if it was just around how they put it on the block, everybody ended up watching Sailor Moon also, and I just remember it being funny.
yeah.
Um,
I, I
yeah,
grew up watching the Deke dub. Fun fact: I was
who
watching
did
the
not
this is
grow up watching the Deep Dub? That's like everybody
Uh,
when we're talking Sailor Moon, we all know that they didn't call her Usagi, they were calling her Serena in the fucking dub that we saw, and yeah, like
it's funny because
I guess
yesterday, huh? Oh yes.
I guess technically I don't ever remember watching it as a kid, so I didn't grow up with it. I can only tell you like the one episode, and I think it's the start of season 2, because after they all died and she got her powers back.
Oh well,
that
that
was a
I saw that one.
my sister got that from what's it called? She got the VHS from Blockbuster, and that's how I saw that. And it was just very weird because I guess the intention was is that they were dead or something because I would, they would like kind of flash that something occurred to them. They give them like a farewell screen really quick, and then later it gets to like the end and things are resolved because once again, this is just the Deke not really
Oh,
thinking anything too much
Yeah,
about Sailor Moon, not learning about all the extra stuff until literally high school when they
yeah, I
saw it.
mean
Deke apparent, huh? Go
okay, they
ahead.
do die at the end of that arc and come back, or come back at the end of it, I guess. But
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
don't show them like
Deke.
dead AF like they do.
Yeah, Deke rewrote it so that like I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched a Deke dub because I watched. I actually did watch Sailor Moon at a huge rewatch. Only the first two seasons though. Um, gosh, when was this? Like not like about 4 or 5 years ago. So I remember that, but I do remember the Deke dub did like I think the ending was a two-parter in Japan. I think they could just combine it into one and then cut out most of like I think they still like, oh, we lost our powers and came back. And there was a lot of like weird overdubs to explain what had happened. But they officially didn't die in the Deke dub. What I do remember, what I didn't remember until I watched some of the DVDs I used to have with the Deke dub, is that they call her Molly, I think, in the
yeah,
that dub. Her friend has like the weirdest accent. I'm not sure what you call that accent, but she sounds older than she is, even though she's supposed to be like a middle schooler too. She has like this like, hey, I can't even do it. She has like this kind of Fran Drescher ish,
ish.
yeah, from the nanny, kind of like that kind of accent.
I believe her
Whatever
name
you
in
call that.
Japanese is Naru.
Naru. That's Nyaru. But but yeah, it's funny because yesterday or whenever Saturday, I was trying to remember Memorio's name because Memorio is the tuxedo mask guy. His name is Damien. That popped in my head like right now, this second, only because he's like the fucking Omen kid name. But yeah, he's Damien. Um, but yeah, I fucking loved it. I'm pretty sure there was like some toxic masculinity why like I didn't want to tell anyone. But what's funny is that still existed, maybe because I had seen it so young, but that still existed for a long time. Like I remember, well, also I mentioned this in the past. I don't want to like mention any. Well, nobody would know her anyway. I don't want to like talk too much shit about this one girlfriend I used to have at one point. But I was with her for years. She was almost weirdly like endorsing toxic masculinity because at some point like she was like, why do you like Sailor Moon, as if like I'm some weirdo for liking it. I'm like, oh, Maybe she thought I was just a creeper. I don't know. But even though I'm dating me for
And you were
years.
in a relationship with her?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah, I was. But she legit was. So probably that was why too. But I remember specifically, I had when selfie sticks were a thing, like the early 2010s. Like I think those got banned from everywhere too. Fun fact. Remember selfie sticks? But
Mhm.
anyways, I
I think they
remember.
got banned only because people were taking them on rides. Like, obviously, things for
Yeah.
operating them was like very much like a hazard.
Exactly. I remember when Disneyland banned them, that was like the beginning of the end. But I remember I bought a Sailor Moon selfie stick. And I remember I was like so like, oh, like what do I do with this? It's like my secret like hit like it's like my secret. Like it's as if I had like a sex toy or something. Okay, that was a horrible comparison. But but you know what I mean? It was like something as if like I bought it and now I gotta put it in a drawer and never like look at it again. Then a friend of mine's like,
Then
what the
why'd
fuck?
you
Use
get
it.
it?
Yeah, I was but I did use it to be fair. Eventually I did, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then it was funny because I lost it somewhere, like at a convention. Like I think someone stole it because I used to work tables back then. Like I used to work the PMX table, like as you know, as a volunteer. And I think someone stole it from the table. But then a friend of mine sold me theirs because they got the exact same one I did, and I was like, "Oh, I got it again. I still have it. I should take it to cons again. Get banned." Well, now I have like ape like arms myself, so I could just like do my own like crazy selfie stick. I'm sure you see my selfies, so you've been in my selfies. I mean to say, so I could easily do the selfie stick on my own. Fun fact, we'll get back to the moon in a second, but fun fact, there's this promoter friend of ours. I guess I won't name her, but she works with a lot of Japanese guests that come to conventions, like most of them, especially if they're music related, and we so because of this, because like her and I know each other pretty well and like work together professionally, we get to interview a lot of her clients, and it's actually is known amongst a lot of her clients, like, oh, it's that guy who takes the really high selfies. And I don't want to name names. I don't want to sound like I'm name dropping, and I don't know if they would want these stories because these were like off off interview stories, but there were like some pretty big name people that we were doing interviews with. And when I'm like, oh, can I take a picture? And I start getting ready, and like she's talking to them in Japanese, like, you're the guy who takes the high selfies. But anyways, so I don't
Well,
need a Sailor Moon selfie stick, huh?
yeah. Like I say, that's the only good thing Manuel is famous for.
Yeah, everything else is terrible. Like all the sexism. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I keep calling myself a sexist. Wait, was it Darian, not Damien? I thought it
Yes,
was
it was
I thought it was.
Darian
Oh,
Shields.
oh, oops, sorry. I guess see I was close though. I'm not gonna lie. I would like him to be Damien
The Omen.
because yeah, the Omen. But there was this one scene, and I think it's in the Dink Dub too. I don't think they cut this out. And it's funny because I've always wondered what happens during this. Uh, because you always wonder how does he know that Sailor Moon's like in trouble? And there was actually an episode where they explain it. Like literally, when she transforms to the Sailor Moon, wherever the fuck he is, he's suddenly like my head and then he becomes Tuxedo Mask. And it was like, oh, and it was funny because even in the episode where they show what happens, he's in public. Like he's walking down the street. I think he has groceries too. He's like walking down the street and he like turns to the tuxedo mask. And I'm like, how did no one see that? How did no one like, oh, that dude's wearing a tuxedo now?
He's not actually
And
wearing a
it's
tuxedo though.
oh, that's not a tuxedo?
I believe that is technically not a tuxedo.
What makes the tuxedo like
I
something with
don't
the
know.
tails or whatever?
Something.
Oh, that's some good trivia right there. Um, it's actually, but yeah, I love Sailor Moon. I remember there was this really cool Sailor Moon shirt I wanted where like it was it was like done in like those old like kind of okay, the EC comics like Tales from the Crypt.
Hmm.
Um, it wasn't done that style, but like besides horror comics, there were also like romance comics, and I don't know if you know that kind of art style. And it was a Sailor Moon shirt that was done in the romance comic style, like that very retro Silver Age comic style. But it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? They look all dramatic, and I wanted that shirt, and I was gonna get it, and that girlfriend would not let me get that shirt. There was nothing. There was nothing like wrong with it. Like there was even a guy on it, but just the fact that it was Sailor Moon, she would not let me get that shirt. Like there weren't like titties or something like that. It wasn't like hentai or something like that. It was like literally like this very Western aesthetic shirt that she would not let me get. So TLDR, this is for International Women's Day. Don't be toxic don't support toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
That's my hot take.
Manuel, for why it's
Yes.
not a tuxedo, he is wearing a full dress tailcoat as opposed to the dinner jacket, which would be in an actual tuxedo.
Oh, oh, that actually makes sense.
All
It's
right,
another
Manuel.
reason.
Sorry,
Anyways, we'll finish this up and wrap it up a bit. I should have talked about fucking Leprechaun for 30 minutes.
I tried to stop you.
There's so much more I want to say about Sailor Moon. Have you have you ever seen the musicals, Josh?
Stage plays? No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. It's funny because there's a certain con I won't mention that goes on in Texas. They did a stage play production, and they let us film it. It's funny because like I wanted to do a couple edits with it. By the way, not to like shoot our own shit here, but we actually have a working relationship with the production company that does the musicals. Now it's wonky because each of the actresses who are involved in the musicals have like their own contracts because they're all like pretty big names themselves. So we can never interview them, but we often get like press passes to the shows in Japan.
Mhm.
We've covered a couple, and we actually previewed some of them on our YouTube channel. They're the gifts that keep on giving, by the way. But um, but yeah, I saw a couple of them, and they're great. You can also get some of them subtitled, like if you know what to look on the internet. There's some on YouTube. They're awesome. I love musicals. There's a whole world of Sailor Moon musicals. They call it a seramu, like in the fandom,
Mhm.
which is weird because technically that's just what Sailor Moon is also called in Japan. But if you say that in English-speaking fandoms, you're talking about the musicals.
Mhm.
Did you ever watch the live-action TV show?
Live action?
Yeah, there was a live-action TV show that was very like,
I don't think that ever actually aired, if I remember correctly.
oh no, no, you're thinking about the Saban Moon, the one that was like Power Rangers.
Yeah, so what's
Um,
this live action Sailor Moon? Because I've never seen a live action
there
Sailor
was a
Moon.
Japanese one. There was a Japanese one that was like decently produced. It was I liked it. It looked very cheap. It looked even cheaper than the Sentai shows, even though it technically would be a Sentai show. But yeah, I'll never forget. I was watching it, and like there was this clip in the making of, because like I was downloading all this shit like on some fan subbing site, and they threw a plush doll. And they're all like, "Don't worry, everyone. We're gonna replace that in the finished episode with a digital thing for like Luna." And they did it. In the episode, Luna was a plush in the very first scene, and I'm like, "Oh, it looks so cheap." But yeah, go look it up. There's a live action show. And but last thing I want to talk about, do you like Crystal? Sailor Moon Crystal, where they all have really long legs, the clamp
Yeah,
legs.
it's good. I
Those are
like that
not.
they went back and redubbed the original also, and I mean Crystal's good. It's pretty.
Yeah, those are not clamp legs. Those are Takeuchi legs.
To be fair, they did have kind of crazy legs in the original show too, but they have insane legs in the fucking Wait, who's Takeuchi? Like, is that her name?
The
Naoko?
mangaka.
Yeah, because they have insane legs in Sailor Moon Crystal, and then they have like the sparkly eyes. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the art style. Um, Honestly, I don't like that. I don't like that show as much. And that show, I'm sure it happened before. Fun fact: we used to get those the Blu-ray releases like all the time from Viz. I think who
Yes.
released them, and we used to get those. We didn't review them. It's not like this. This was ages ago, though. Obviously, the first runs, and we used to review them all. And I remember that was the first show that I ever heard of shows being improved for the home media releases. And I'm not saying that was the first, because I'm sure that somebody would be like, no, actually, it's been going on for years. But like, apparently, if you watch that show in Japanese TV, like in its first run, it looked like crap. And then they pretty much would always like, oh, we have to buy the Blu-ray to it actually looks halfway decent, where they like reanimated everything. And that blows my mind that that's the state of like Japanese animation now. And apparently that still happens to other shows. And I'm like, how does that happen? Like, what are you guys doing? Just take your
Because it's
time. Release it.
rushed
Release
to
it later.
air.
Let the animators get a break. Jeez,
Yes.
pay them more money.
Yes.
All the industry woes. Oh man.
Okay,
Anyway,
Manuel, wrap it up.
yeah. Anything else you want to bring up? Anything, Josh, real fast before we close it out?
Oh no, I'm good. I've actually learned quite a bit from this stream.
Yeah, you're gonna go. Let's go watch Sailor Moon after this. I fucking. It's funny because I still talk to that ex girlfriend. Like we're not like BFFs, but it's one of the few ex girlfriends I still talk to because just reasons. But and she'd be like, "You're a monster." I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say that. Just cancel me. Just cancel me already.
Manuel, we've
Okay.
already been doing that.
Oh man. But yeah, buy a yaoi paddle, watch Sailor Moon, and play Mario Galaxy 1, not 2. Throw away your copy of Galaxy 2. Nintendo pretends it doesn't exist, so we should too. That's my hot take for. Oh, and let's make Leprechaun versus Chucky happen. But only if it's Warwick Davis and Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Only those two. I don't want Mark Hamill and like
I mean,
I can't.
it's magic that we're dealing with, so of course it has to be those two.
Oh yeah. Like, Brad Dourif was Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings, the movie. He killed Saruman. I don't. I want to rewatch. I know JD's like, oh man, he's on a tangent, but I want to rewatch Return of the King because it went kind of viral the past couple weeks, and I've never noticed it. Maybe I just didn't care, but it went kind of viral because I guess like somebody on like TikTok discovered it that Saruman refused to scream when he gets killed. Saruman being Christopher Lee. That so like if you watch that clip, it does look kind of awkward that like Brad Dourif is stabbing him all these times in the back, and Christopher Lee's just like, and then falls and dies. And there is a clip where Christopher Lee himself is like, I don't. Saruman would not scream, you know. He would just take it silently or whatever. So yeah. Anyway,
Well,
do you
I
remember?
mean,
Do
he
you ever
was a
know?
major fan of the books.
I mean, I think he was the only person who knew Tolkien.
Met
He met
Tolkien
him.
once.
Well, that still count. I'm not gonna.
Yes,
Well,
but
doesn't
not
matter.
like he knew him intimately or something. They weren't like best friends.
They had tea every Saturday. Let me imagine this. But he was still the only person on period on the production staff who apparently had any even remote connection to Tolkien. Anyway, well, I'm sure his son, Christopher Tolkien, was probably.
Yeah, I would say he has some connection.
I need to shut up.
Yes, you
Sticking
do.
that foot in my mouth. I'm like, I am positive his son was on set. You know, in the anyway, it's all getting excited for that show again. Josh, thank you for showing up. It was a lot of fun, and this is a fun episode. And unfortunately, Nyara wasn't here. She canceled the last minute. So, if I ever want to be mad, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna say it again. Just clip all the parts where I say all the stupid. I want some. I'll know I've made it, quote unquote, made it when somebody gets all the clips, all the bullshit things I've said like over the years from all the podcasts and DTLs and whatever, and clip them all out of context or clip them out of the parts where I say I'm joking or like whatever, and just put them all together. And I'll be like, ah, yes, I made it. And also, I have to delete all my social media because everyone hates me. So, yeah. I I both look forward to and dread that day, if it ever happens. Anyways, oh yeah, there was the new Leprechaun movie stars and WWE star. I can't remember his name. Like I think he's actually has like an Irish name. I don't know if he's actually Irish.
Dylan
Anyway,
Postel, aka Hornswoggle.
there you go. Is he Irish or am I just being racist?
I have no idea.
Oh gosh. So tune in next week when we have our wait, is next week gonna be our St. Patrick's Day episode? I could
Yeah,
talk about
probably.
corn. Yeah, I will. I could talk about corned beef and beer. Yeah. Is that racist? That's the first two things I think, or whiskey when I think of Irish.
Yes.
Corn. I'm an asshole.
Yes.
But yeah, tomorrow we're playing Wild Arms 2. Friday we're playing. Well, actually, honestly, Fridays, Drink Talk Roll. I said this on Saturday, and to be honest, that's why our schedule went live really late. Not because of UPZ, believe it or not, but actually because DTL, I mean Drink Talk Roll, DTR. That I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. Right now, it's gonna happen, but we're not sure. And fun fact, it's not because of me. So don't come blame me, Manuel, that I'm canceling something again. And then next Tuesday, we're doing St. Patrick's Day. We have a lot of topics for that. There's some shit I want to talk about. I'll talk about the Leprechaun movies again. I'll call Nyaru a Leprechaun because if you never met her in real life, she's just kind of short. Is that racist of me calling her? Calling
No,
someone
not, no, because I don't think she's Irish.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I have I have some funny stories about Irish stuff. It's gonna be very racist. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not even gonna finish the sentence. I was gonna say it's very
I was about to
racist
say,
episode.
I'm part Irish, Manuel, right?
Are you really?
Yes. My last name is Irish.
We gotta talk about this later. Are you like a Mick JD? Are you McDonald's?
No.
I think that's a Scottish slur. I'm not sure.
And I'm just being racist all over.
Yes, you are.
Time.
Manuel, just wrap up the show. Thank our patrons.
Oh yeah, thank you, Kenneth. Josh is the one of them. Thank you, Kenneth, and help
Ed.
me out here, JD. Ed. Oh, hi, I forget Ed. Oops, I love you, Ed. I'm sorry, I forgot you. I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm really backed up on the Super Patreon Mario things, and not because I haven't been doing them. I was gonna say this earlier. If you sub to our Patreon, I have this thing where I do a Mario game every month, and I technically haven't backed up since after Christmas, but I did do 2 of them, but one of them, my mic cut out, like, as it's been doing, and I just have to redo it. I don't think I'm gonna redo it. I think I'm just do commentary over the video, like an old school YouTube video now. Like, I'll just watch it and talk over it and pay attention that my mic's not cutting out, and also fix my mic, I guess, but yeah. So I apologize for that. They'll both we'll have, like, 3 of them up by the end of the month, don't worry. Like, they're all just backed up. But yeah, support us on Patreon, and, that's it. Josh. Oh, go watch Josh's stream. I mentioned this the other day. You were playing Genshin. You play Genshin a lot,
Yeah.
and I watched it, and I lurk on a bunch of them.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, I lurk on a bunch of them, and I'm not gonna lie. I watch them, and I'm like, I like the way you do game commentary because it's like, it's interesting, and it's not like the kind of bullshit we do on our gaming things where we just like we get.
Are you?
It's like, huh?
Are you open Wednesday nights at 6? Is what he's trying to say.
No, because it's funny because like when we do our gaming commentaries, I feel like we're torn between like trying to play the game for real and then going really off topic. Like not to say like game commentary has to be on topic, but it's just funny watching Josh how effortlessly he does it. I'm like, oh, we could be good if we weren't bad.
Yes. That.
I don't know. The Wednesday streams are fun though, because like it honestly is just me and it's me and homies playing games. If you want to watch, then please watch. Please watch though, because every so often we say funny things. We name characters. Honestly, I think our jokes are only funny to us, but just watch
Yes.
anyway. Okay, bye. Good night. Love you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subbing.
Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.